Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jamie Lee, and I'm joined by my husband, Mr. Jared Lee. Hello, Jared.
Hello.
Well, as I always do on the Universal Show, I have a question to start the show.
Okay, I'm ready for your question. I was never good at tests.
Right, but I will.
Okay.
He does not know what I'm asking, by the way.
Pop
I never
quiz.
tell him.
Pop quiz
beforehand.
hot shot. Okay.
I love this good speed reference. So if you could do a staycation at any of the Universal hotels, like the Lowe's hotels or whatever, which one would you choose?
That are currently built.
That are currently built.
Gotcha.
Yes.
How long? How long is the staycation?
Oh, I don't know. Let's just say 2 nights. Let's say you're doing like 3 day, 2 nights. And like, which do you think is the best for a staycation? Like you don't go into the parks, you just stay at the hotel and do stuff there.
It's a good question.
We stayed at all of them. So
Yeah. You know, it's not a premiere, but I love Sapphire.
yeah.
Like, I feel like there's so many things, like you've got there's so many things you can discover and do around there.
Oh,
like
I
the
know.
restaurants and the pool alone area. The pool is a very much of a like premier level pool.
You know it is, and I like it.
I feel like that entire resort was supposed to be premier, and it just, for whatever reason, they're just like, oh, make it moderate or whatever. But it's still like probably my favorite, just in terms of the vibe and like the Caribbean, the blues and the whites and the giant windows, and you've got the bar right off the lobby, and you've got the food options downstairs. Like, there's just so much stuff there. I would probably say there.
You know, that's kind of where my mind was going to, and we have talked about this on the show before, but I feel like that's both of our favorite resort at Universal. If it was a premier resort, it would be, first of all, it would be the most popular, I think, and it's just so expensive for a moderate or like a mid-level that sometimes we're just like, it just depends. Like if it's a really busy time, it could be upwards of like $300 a night for a room.
Yeah.
And that's just a lot for like, you know, for a moderate level hotel. But if we can get something in like the hundreds, which sometimes happens, then I would go for it. Definitely over Aventura.
Aventura was fine. I had nothing against Aventura, but it's just very much of it's almost just like a concrete jungle. It's all very modern, and like I'm not really big on the modern architecture type. I think it's somewhat, but they do have the cool robot that brings you stuff.
That's true.
So that's cool.
But yeah, Sapphire Falls, I would have to agree. That would be my staycation hotel. Strongwater Tavern, Matistas. I mean, if you wanted to go to a theme park, you could go to Volcano Bay. You can just walk right down.
That's true.
That pathway.
Yeah.
You can take the boat to City Walk. I mean, like, yeah, it's a wonderful hotel. It's definitely my favorite. So, thank you for the answer to that question.
You're very welcome. I study a lot before these because I never know what type of question I'm going to get. So
he never does. He's lying.
I don't study. I didn't do that in school, let alone
I was going to say that's so.
Actually, I do probably what you would call study now way more than I did during school.
Well, we are not going to talk about just the hotels. We're actually going to talk about 2 things. The first thing we're going to cover is a new land has been revealed to us in Epic Universe last week, and we'll talk about what that is. And we're also going to give a review of Circus McGirkus over in Seuss Landing at Islands of Adventure. So we got those coming to you. But first, we want to mention that you should check out our wonderful club, Club 32.
This isn't a nightclub, although it could be. No, this is a place to go where...
That's a nightclub.
There, exactly.
Sorry.
I thought I was transported into one. This is a club where if you would like more content, if you want to contribute to the show, this is the place you would do that. Because we have shows like Cool Kids Kitchen, which we once a month. I think this week we're actually going to do one, and we're going to do the hummingbird cake from Homecoming, I believe is what we're going to do. That was suggested by some Club 32 members.
Yes,
I think that's what we're going to do.
About that. Yes.
We always make a dish from the theme parks, and then usually it turns out well. Either way, it's entertaining. Sometimes it doesn't quite turn out well. Sometimes Jamie gets the wrong ingredients, and we try and make
some doozies. I've had some doozies where I pull a Jamie. I like to call it.
It says almond flour. Coconut flour is the same thing.
I royally mess up. Yep.
It's fun either way. We also have the Club 32 show, which is a weekly live stream we do on Tuesday night and just hang out with all the members there. We also have the upcoming, we're getting ready to probably, I think this month we'll do the first episode of The Clubhouse, where it's some members of the show, of Club 32 become part of the show. So that's a monthly show there. And then there's a private podcast feed where all that additional content is on there. Plus you have music loops. You get 20% off of CTM apparel and 1901 Candle Company products. There's meetups, Facebook groups, all sorts of things. So it's a really cool place to be. So if you want to check it out, you go to ctmvip.com. We have monthly or yearly options, and we can even do a free trial if you want to do that as well. So again, ctmvip.com is where you go for that.
Thank you very much for that information.
You're very welcome. Oh, also subscribe and leave us a review on podcast platforms if you wouldn't mind. We greatly appreciate it as well.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about some Epic Universe news. So last week, as they have been doing periodically, I'd say every couple weeks, they reveal a new land, like one of the lands that's going to be in Epic Universe. And so we have already gotten Celestial Park. That was the first one. And we've also gotten How to Train Your Dragon, the Isle of Berk. And the next one they are doing is Super Nintendo World.
Listen. I just want to say, I know people are like, oh, that's cool. This is the land I'm looking the most forward to. I'm looking very forward to Epic Universe for a multitude of reasons, but I've been looking forward to Super Nintendo World ever since I heard about it.
Yes.
I grew up playing Nintendo my entire life. I love it. Yeah. So, and like, and this land's unique too, because like we already know what it looks like in other places.
Right.
So we can like I've already seen how it looks like you walk into a video game, so I'm just eagerly anticipating. But yes, I was very excited about this. And we'll go over some of the things they announced, but yes, very excited.
Yeah. And like Jared said, it's already a thing over in Hollywood and in Japan. So like we already know what it's going to look like. We already know the potential of it. We do know that when you first walk into Epic Universe, you're in Celestial Park. It is the first land on the left as you go around, correct? And this is going to be the biggest of what is Super Nintendo World. So they've got, like I said, they've got Hollywood, they've got Japan, and they're very small. They're very small.
Yeah, well, Hollywood is a very small park.
Right.
So it's definitely not very big there. In Japan, I'm not sure on the size of Japan, but I do know the one that they're building in Epic Universe is going to be the largest Super Nintendo World in the world. It's going to need to be because Hollywood ran into issues where they had to like limit people coming in,
right.
And it's still like a huge draw there. But Hollywood's not very big at all. Like when you see people go through POVs of that on vlogs, you're just like, oh my gosh, like it's small. But the one in Orlando will be very big.
Yeah. So let's talk about the land. So basically, it's in two sections. So we've got the regular Super Nintendo land. So we're in Super Nintendo World. We've got Super Nintendo land. And we also have Donkey Kong Country, which the Hollywood one does not have, correct?
Hollywood does not have the Donkey Kong extension.
Right.
Japan is building it currently.
Right.
So I think it did announce it just got delayed. But
okay.
The one in Orlando was supposed to be the first one, and then COVID happened. So I think Japan's will still open earlier.
Okay.
But the only thing I have to correct you on.
I'm sorry.
It's not Super Nintendo Land. It is the Mushroom Kingdom.
Oh, I apologize.
So
I was going by what it was on on the website.
Yes, now they may have that on the website.
Okay.
They're wrong.
Oh.
It is the Mushroom Kingdom.
Okay.
And
Sorry.
you have Donkey Kong Country. So
Mushroom Kingdom.
Yes.
And Donkey Kong Country.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the Mushroom Kingdom is like where Princess Peach. If you've seen the Super Mario Brothers movie, that's the Mushroom Kingdom, like where Peach's castle is.
See,
and all
that makes
stuff.
more sense because you're in world. You wouldn't want to say land.
Right.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's start in Mushroom Kingdom then. We're going to talk about the attractions. We're talking about meet and greets, dining, shopping, all of that stuff. And then
everything we know about Super Nintendo World, basically.
Yes. And then Jared has a little more insight than I do just because he does a lot of the construction updates on our YouTube channel. So he knows more about this than I do. But we'll start with talking about attractions. So the first one we're going to talk about is Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge.
Yeah, this one isn't anything new. This one they have in Hollywood. They also have it in Japan. So this is a 3D/4D motion simulator. And yes, I know people are going to say, oh, Universal with another screen-based ride. True, but this is one of the very few that are going in Epic Universe. So I think that's something to note about the rides in general going in.
Yeah.
So what they say about this is on Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, you'll put on special goggles and steer through iconic courses alongside Mario, Luigi, and Princess Peach. In this interactive ride, you'll collect digital coins and throw shells to try to defeat Team Bowser and win the Golden Cup. With multiple outcomes, it's a different experience each time you ride. So this whole ride is being based on Mario Kart. If you haven't played Mario Kart, which most of you probably have, this is based on the newest version of it, but Mario Kart is both a very fun game and a very frustratingly enraging game at times. If you've ever,
I mean, I remember that. Yeah.
I mean, you'll be in first place, and then here comes the blue shell, and you're just like, it just drives you crazy. But that's what this ride is based on. So it's trying to simulate like a real-life version of being in Mario Kart.
Yes, and I have seen footage of what they have shown like in Japan and in Hollywood. And from what I understand, when you're not wearing like the special goggles or what help you see like certain like graphics, like you take them off, you can't see them.
Right.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah,
It's
looks
not
really
like a 3D glass. Yeah, it's like an overlay. It's almost like what do they call like the there's a term for it, but you put on goggles that overlay information of what you're looking at. There's a term for it, but I can't remember what it's called. But it's like that. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds really cool. It looks really cool, and I'm excited for that one.
Honestly, I am excited I'm more excited for the castle and all the stuff inside of it more. The ride itself, I've heard and from what I've seen, seems very like it's okay. Like I'm not expecting to be blown away by this ride.
Is it more like family friendly?
For
like
sure, for sure. It's just one of those things. Like I will go into it with like moderate expectations. I'm not, but I think. And we'll talk about more the Donkey Kong side. That's where I actually have a lot of high expectations. This one, I'm probably just like, okay, I'm really cool to go into Bowser's Castle, all the Easter eggs in there, everything else. But, you know, this one will be, I think this will be like a moderate level, like mid-high level anticipation type ride.
Okay. Well, speaking of what you said about eggs, Easter eggs, let's see where the next attraction. Let's talk about Yoshi's Adventure.
Yes. So this is, again, another ride that they have in Hollywood and in Japan. So this is a very kid-friendly ride.
It's very slow.
It's very slow. Excuse me.
So that's what I feel like.
Yeah. So what they say about this is take a ride with Yoshis and search for the glowing eggs in this enchanting family-friendly attraction. On Yoshi's Adventure, you'll weave your way through iconic Mushroom Kingdom landscapes, encountering many familiar characters and spotting hidden colored eggs along your journey. So this is the one where it wraps around kind of the entire land, well, not the entire land, but part of the land where you'll see them go down. Very slow moving, very kid friendly, not exciting. I mean, honestly, this is the one where, you know, it's for very little kids. It's not gonna be like exciting or thrilling, but again, it is very like Nintendo themed and everything.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm sure our kids will love it.
I'm not looking like super forward to this one. I mean, it'll be cool, but it's more or less cool. You do see them like going around all the time. So it's part of the ambiance of the land of making it seem like a real life video game with lots of kinetic movement and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about meet and greets here.
Yes. So this is a part where, as Universal continues to develop, I think their meet and greet repertoire, if you will. That's a big word.
Repertoire.
There we go. I used it correctly. I think Nintendo characters will be where this starts maybe getting kind of big for them, so they're going to have Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and Toad, and they do speak.
They do speak.
And this is what they also have in the other lands. There are rumors, and I've heard rumors that there will be also, you have, one thing that's cool about Nintendo is you have princesses built into the whole thing. So you've got like Daisy,
Princess Peach,
Rosalita, Princess Peach. So there could be some more characters that they bring out as time goes on. But yes, right with these. Now, the one thing I wonder about, now this goes into the construction of it. The Princess Peach's castle in Epic Universe has underneath it this area that the other castles don't.
Okay.
So initially, I had heard that was going to be there for meet and greets, and then it was scrapped. But as construction has gone on, there's something there. I'm wondering if they do the meet and greets underneath the castle. Okay. It looks like there'd be enough room because if you look, like in Hollywood's and Japan's, they do the meet and greets kind of in the middle of the land, which does create an issue with lines and everything like that. So if they did the meet and greets here, it might make a little bit more sense, perhaps. I don't know. So I don't know where the meet and greets will be. I'm wondering what they do with that little section underneath the castle. So they could be down there. But there will be meet and greets here. I don't know. I'm not really sure as to the frequency they do them in the other parks right now. But whatever they do there, I'm sure would be pretty same over here at Epic Universe.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's talk about dining. So one of the things that they did mention now, you had talked about them setting up like carts and stuff around the lands.
There's going to be a lot of quick service, I would call them kiosks.
Okay.
They haven't really said the names of them. They're going to have a few in Mushroom Kingdom. They're going to have some in Donkey Kong Country as well. So I'm not sure the name of those. Those would be like snacks, like Ronto Roasters type things, like you've seen over in Galaxy's Edge, where it's like a very specific type of food you could get.
Okay,
stuff like that.
Like two items and that's it, or
probably something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the one established permanent dining area is Toadstool Cafe, and that is a quick service.
Yeah, the one restaurant that people always talk about when they go to Super Nintendo World is Toadstool Cafe. So if you've ever seen people take photos of stuff for food and everything, this is probably where it's at. So this is a quick service restaurant. What they say on the website about it is fuel up at Toadstool Cafe, where you can watch Chef Toad cooking up some of his favorite recipes and see playful scenes of the Mushroom Kingdom through the windows. Enjoy tasty creations prepared daily, including soups, salads, and sandwiches, as well as delicious entrees and delectable desserts. So that... The only other thing I was going to mention, I don't think it's Nintendo themed, and this is kind of a weird thing about the way this park is set up. So outside of Super Nintendo World, you have a Nintendo store.
Okay.
I suppose it's for if the land is closed for whatever reason, you could still get Nintendo themed merchandise. Next to the store is a place called Pizza Moon. Now, that doesn't sound Nintendo themed.
I don't think
probably
it is.
isn't, but given it's like right next to, and it's right outside the land, and it's right next to a Nintendo themed store, that is there. But there's no word on. I don't think that's probably Nintendo themed, but I just want to mention that is there. But the main one here being Toadstool Cafe.
Yeah, this
is the one where out in Hollywood, in Japan, if you want to eat here, like you have to get a spot early because it's hard to get. I mean, if you go first thing in the morning, you may not get a spot until like in the evening time.
Gotcha.
So very popular, Nintendo theme. I mean, you got like your, Princess Peach themed foods, Mario themed foods, Toadstool themed foods, like everything. Everything's very themed and
themed foods. You say
very themed foods. Yeah. So I mean, if you think of like Minions Cafe, it's basically the exact same concept of very highly, again, themed foods that you eat at in the restaurant like this. So it's very popular, and I anticipate it will be very popular here. This is the biggest one as well. So I think they're trying to, I can't remember by how much, but I know it is the biggest one, but I'm sure it will still be very hard to get a reservation here.
Oh, yeah. Well, shopping wise, there's really not much inside the land. And we know there's a Mario Motors gift shop.
Oh, there's actually a lot inside the land.
But that's like the only permanent one, right?
No, they mentioned...
They didn't say anything else about it. That's why I'm saying
Okay, they said Mario Motors gift shop, which I think is the exit to the Mario Kart ride, but you've got the 1-Up Factory, which is a store in there.
They didn't mention that.
I'm sure they'll have something on the Donkey Kong side as well.
Right.
Plus, they got the store outside the land like we just mentioned, so they've got plenty of places for you to buy merchandise in here.
Well, they didn't say anything.
I know. There's a lot of stuff they didn't...
Just going by what they didn't say. I know. Okay, so before we go into Donkey Kong Country, actually, let's go to that first. Let's talk about Donkey Kong Country real quick. Besides like the some of the food places that might be spread around there, maybe I don't know if we'll meet Donkey Kong. I don't know.
Oh, you're gonna meet.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have. I mean, you're gonna have Donkey Kong. I'm sure Diddy Kong. Probably Cranky. Maybe you will have Funky Kong, which his plane is there. He's the one that flies, I believe. So you'll have some meet and greets with the Donkey Kong characters as well.
Well, let's talk about the attraction that'll be there because this has me quite excited.
This is the one I'm probably the most excited for out of any of the rides in Epic Universe because this one looks amazing. So this one is called Minecart Madness. So the whole land here is called Donkey Kong Country, which is based off of the Donkey Kong Country video game. If you haven't played it, you should.
Yes.
It's a great game. And in that game, you have a minecart level that is notoriously hard.
I have to talk about this real quick. So I didn't play many video games as a kid. I played Super Nintendo World. I played or Super Nintendo 3 or whatever it was a lot.
Wait, you played what?
Super Nintendo, I think it was 3.
You mean Super Mario?
Yes.
Oh, you said Super Nintendo. I was like, wait a minute.
Super Mario.
There was a Super Nintendo
3.
system.
Sorry.
Okay.
I played it on the old system, like the NES or whatever.
Probably, yeah. You had regular Nintendo and Super Nintendo, and then you had 64.
Yes, for real. I had Super Mario 3. That was the one I played the most. And then I played Donkey Kong. And I played this minecart game over and over and over again because I just couldn't get over the place where it jumps the track. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Cat-like reflexes.
I know. I needed Jared there when I was, 10 years old, 11 years old to help me. But anyway,
I would have helped.
So it is. I'm very excited for this because I feel like it's part of my childhood.
Yeah, I mean that's part of video games. It's very frustrating levels. That this was one like once you figured out the mechanisms, you could get it. Like I think I replayed this not that long ago, and I was like, oh okay, I remembered how to do it. But yeah. Notoriously was difficult because you jump gaps in the track, and then you got to try and jump over certain obstacles and things like that. So the main ride in this land is called Minecart Madness, and the basically it's a family roller coaster. Minimum height on here is going to be 36 inches.
But pretty short.
The description of this is, it's up to you to help Donkey Kong protect the golden banana on Minecart Madness. Enter the majestic golden temple, board your minecart, and take off in this thrilling family coaster. Speeding through the mine, you'll appear to jump across gaps in the track and perform other eye-popping feats from the Donkey Kong Country video game. Now, the reason that this is going to be so unique is the way in which this coaster works. So it's really cool because in the game, you literally jump gaps. Well, you can't really do that on a roller coaster. Well, the way that this ride is set up is the whole coaster has a side track, and you're actually sitting in a minecart with this arm off of the side track, and you sit on top. So on top, it looks like rickety old tracks, like in the video game. And some of them have gaps missing, you're going to have to jump stuff. There's stuff in the way. So you're never not connected because you have this sidetrack going. But given that you're over the top of it, it's going to feel like you're jumping gaps in the track.
Yeah.
But you never actually lose contact with that sidetrack. So it's going to do things like shoot you out of a barrel. Like if you ever play Donkey Kong, that's how you start most levels. You're going to go like all sorts of little things like that. So this looks awesome.
Oh my gosh.
The construction progress on this is cool, and just seeing like the 3D animation and stuff like that. Like and it looks very well themed. It seems like it'll probably be a pretty the length of it I think is pretty good. So I don't think it's like too short or too long and things like that. But
okay.
It looks awesome. There's a part where you go like over water, in and out of the temple. So it goes inside and outside. So this one looks awesome.
Very excited for this one. Very, very, very excited. Okay, let's go back and let's talk about power-up bands. So power-up bands are available to purchase. They're not included with being in Super Nintendo World. You have to buy this separately. But it says these are used to collect digital coins and keys throughout the land, Donkey Kong Country and Mushroom Kingdom. So you have to complete these challenges to earn a key. And why don't you talk about the challenges that they have?
Okay, so if you're wondering, power-up bands, these are going to be very much like a Magic Band.
Yeah.
But specifically for Super Nintendo World, that will let you interact with certain elements inside the land, like power-up blocks. In the Donkey Kong side, you'll have different things like that. So each one of these things, you're going to have, first one here we have Goomba Crazy Crank. It says, turn the crank to make the ground spin fast enough to make a Goomba fall backwards, winning you a key. Then you have the Piranha Plant Nap Mishap. Run back and forth, tapping multiple alarm clocks to put the huge Piranha Plant back to sleep. Then you have the Koopa Troopa Power Punch. Hit a power block, or a POW block, with perfect timing to send a Koopa shell up the pipe and knock over the Koopa Troopa. Bob-omb Kaboom Room. It says, gather fragments of a key from around the room and assemble them before the giant bomb goes kaboom. Those are the walking bombs, by the way, from the game.
Thank you.
And then you have the Thwomp Panel Panic, which the Thwomps are those giant stone guys that have them angry faces in the levels that would drop down.
Yes.
That's a Thwomp. It says, are you fast enough trying to flip every tile on the wall to be the same color and win a digital key? So collect at least 3 keys from the challenges, and you'll be able to unlock the Bowser Jr. Shadow Showdown. And that's like sort of like the final thing that you do here. So essentially, it's almost like a fourth attraction with these power up bands. It allows you can also go up to the blocks and hit them like Mario and go like make the coin noise and stuff like that. So yeah,
Jared's gonna do that a bunch.
Oh, I'm gonna do it like constantly. It also allows you to keep track of your score, like when you're playing Mario Kart, and the stuff like that.
Okay, so it's interactive.
It'll
like
track what.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, supposedly, and I believe things that happens in Hollywood is you're gonna collect coins. Like you do certain things, you collect coins, and you can use the coins for. I don't know what you can use them for, but you can collect coins and then use them in the land.
Okay.
I remember other theme parks talking about doing the same thing, and they haven't done it before. But they have and are doing this in Super Nintendo World. So I'm very excited to see how that can work out and all the things you can do.
Me as well as I am. But so they have theme bands that you can choose from. You can choose from Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Toad, Princess Daisy, Yoshi Egg, Donkey Kong, and Diddy Kong.
Yes. We were talking which one probably would want to get. I'm almost like I love Mario, but I'm almost leaning toward maybe getting like a Donkey Kong one. But
they don't have the Hollywood Studios in Hollywood. No.
That would be where it is, yeah.
I meant Universal Studios in Hollywood.
Yes.
They don't have the Donkey Kong or the Diddy Kong one, obviously. They just have the first 6 that I mentioned. So these would be kind of unique to Epic Universe, at least.
Now, the price of these, they used to be, I think when they first came out with these, they were $35. As of now, they're around $42. So whenever Epic Universe opens, who knows? It could be $50, but it'll be
shell out some bucks.
It's
Jared.
a little extra, and it's like a little slap bracelet type thing too.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool how it works. But yeah,
it'll be exciting. I'm sure all 4 of us will be getting a band.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But yeah, that's most of the stuff that they talked about. I mean, like, as far as what we knew about the land going into this, we kind of already knew what it's going to look like, and it's kind of hard to break down everything that we've just seen on video and stuff. Yeah, it's like we know about the attractions now, we know about the food, we know about the meet and greets, the power bands, all that stuff. So more details will be coming, but that is the 3rd land that we have learned about so far.
Yeah, this is one that, again, there's 2 existing lands that they're not identical, but they're very, very, very close in terms of like layouts like that. So yeah, I mean, they didn't announce anything that I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Like I had been presuming that Donkey Kong Country was the name of it and Minecart Madness was the name of it because not only did it make sense from the video games, but that's Japan's as well.
Yeah.
So absolutely. A lot of this stuff, sometimes you get some name differences and when you go to like different countries and things like that. But nothing they announced was anything we didn't know, but I'm still looking forward to it. And
absolutely,
the more progress that goes on, I just, the only difference I will say that compared to the other lands is entering this land. So you go through a warp pipe, which is cool because you go through there.
Oh, yeah.
But here in Epic Universe, you actually go up an escalator so the way you go into this land is you go up an escalator and then you are in Peach's Castle. You walk out of Peach's Castle into Mushroom Kingdom. So, and then you go, like, it's a multi-level land, by the way. So if you're not familiar with Super Nintendo World, you can go upstairs and downstairs. So there's a lot of up and down stuff.
A lot of levels.
There's also a lot of stuff inside the buildings you can explore, like little Easter eggs all over the place. So I honestly, as much as I do want to ride the rides, which, it's cool, but I want to explore and just see all the stuff.
If you see a man standing in the middle of the land with his mouth open, just looking around, that's Jared Lee.
I don't think I'll be the only one.
This is so cool.
I mean, it legitimately,
at least for like about 15 minutes.
If you haven't seen footage of this, you can go to YouTube and look for it, like of just entering, like, say, Super Nintendo World. It looks like you have walked into a real life video game. It really does.
And that is absolutely the point, and that's why this is going to be so amazing.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah. I am curious about the Donkey Kong one. I mean, we haven't seen it yet. So I am curious as to, like, we've seen 3D mock-ups of it, like how much stuff's in there, but it's not a huge area. The main part of that does take up is the ride. But I love Donkey Kong too. So
same.
Looking very much forward to it.
Same. Well, okay, let's shift over. We're gonna get out of Epic Universe and we're gonna go right over to Islands of Adventure, and we're gonna try a little bit of Circus McGirkus and their new menu. So tell us about Circus McGirkus Cafe Stoopendus, Jared.
Yes, this is a quick service restaurant in Seuss Landing, if you're unfamiliar. And it just went through a long refurbishment. It closed back last June, I believe.
It was closed for a while.
Yeah, and they changed quite a few things about the way it works.
Yeah, so do you want me to talk about
that?
Go
ahead. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
So they changed it basically to how Minions Cafe works. So it's basically your mobile order. You mobile order and you go to the table, you put the table number into your order, and then someone brings it to your table, which is fine.
They're I think they're doing this. I don't know if they're doing it everywhere. They're doing it at a lot of places. They also did this over at Richter's Burger.
Yep.
We ate there a couple months back.
Mel's Drive-In.
Yeah, so I think this is the system they're going with. I'm not sure. It works okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the most efficient, but it does, I guess, beat like standing around waiting for your food and then finding a table. Finding a table first, I think, may be the reason they do this. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different system if you're used to like other theme parks. I haven't seen anybody else really do it this way. But
yeah, it's interesting. They did add a lot more seating. So they had taken out all of the food, like it was like almost like a buffet back there.
Well, I think, did it used to be a buffet all the time? Because we had the Grinch breakfast.
No.
This is where it was at, and it was a buffet for the Grinch breakfast, which is not now. So I think they just got rid of all the buffet ability.
All of that back there is gone. They just added seating. They closed it off, and it's just the kitchen is behind there.
Yeah.
They added a few registers by the side entrance. So if you didn't want a mobile order, you could still pay in person, like order in person, or if you want to pay with cash, you can do that as well. They did add a mobile pickup window. So if you didn't want to come sit down, you can just go to the window and pick up your order, placing a mobile order like you do at Disney or the other mobile order restaurants that they have at Universal. The whole place got a new paint job, a little sprucing up, added some more characters, some more statues. Obviously, the theming is circus.
I can tell you one thing that didn't get attention was they have that car that you sit in there. And
the train thing.
One thing that again had attention was there's a wheel, like you can sit on it and like take pictures and kids turn the wheel, and the wheel is the squeakiest thing I have ever heard. And we sat right in front of it, and it's just a little thing, just a little bit of WD-40 would have done the trick. But yeah, that's one thing that got overlooked, but. It's an easy fix. If they hear this, just go put some WD-40 on it. I literally wanted to walk up to a team member and be like, do you have some WD-40? I'll fix it for you because I'm about to lose my mind sitting at this table. But that's one thing. But yeah.
All right, let's talk about the food. Let's talk about the food that we got, the menu and all that stuff. So like we said, they kind of revamped the whole menu. Let's talk about what we got first. So Jared got the burger, which was the Big Top Burger.
Yeah, and nothing else. This was like we ate here right before we left. I was hungry, but nothing really stuck out to me too much. And I was like, okay, I'll just try the burger. As a default, I'll be like, I'll review a burger. I feel like that's where I'm not a foodie, but I feel like I can be kind of a foodie when it comes to burgers. So that's what I got.
And it's a fresh beef patty, cheddar cheese, lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, secret sauce on a red brioche bun with curly fries. That red bun, when it came out, I was like, oh, that's nice.
Very red bun.
So how was it?
This was meh at best.
Okay.
I did not care for the bun. So first, who knows? I'm not going to get into food coloring stuff. I'm sure some people don't like that. I'm very much, when it comes to a burger, and this is going to make me sound like a foodie, but I'm really not. But a burger bun is very important. I think a proper bun on a burger makes or breaks the burgers. That's one thing I love about Five Guys burgers is their buns, like the way they're just great.
I like a good yeasty bun.
I do like a soft bun. This one was big and not squishy and soft. It was kind of hard.
Oh no.
It almost, and not that it was stale, it just wasn't the type of bun I like. So I actually took the top part off because it was I didn't care for it. The burger itself was very much just like a typical theme park burger. You find it was thick. It wasn't a smash burger. It was fine. It wasn't dry, which I will say didn't have a ton of flavor. Being $15 for a burger, it's pretty pricey, even though you're in a theme park. But it was just meh. I will say the fries were good.
Curly fries.
The curly fries were good, but this was very much just nothing special. It was meat. It was a okay-ish burger, but I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, you got to go try this.
$15.49 for this one. And then I got the chicken and biscuit for $14.99. This is crispy chicken tenders and a peanut-shaped biscuit drizzled with hot honey and curly fries. Yes, it is peanut-shaped. It is not peanut-flavored. So
when you say you got that, I was like, what? And I saw the peanut, and then it's just shaped like it. Yeah. Because, again, it's supposed to be like a circus. So it's like, yeah.
So, so starting with the chicken tenders. So these aren't just regular, like, theme park chicken strips. They were, like, fried. It was almost like fried chicken.
I was going to say they had a very fried chicken look to them.
So they were really good. Now, we had asked for the honey to leave the honey off because our daughter was eating it too, and I was like, she's not going to want the honey on it. So we didn't get to eat it with the honey, but I've heard it's good. But the biscuit was really good.
Yeah.
It was really doughy.
You should have got the hot honey on the side.
I thought about it, but there was no way to do that on the app.
Oh.
So I was like, I'll just no worry about it. But so anyway, and it came with curly fries, which I liked. And so I would get that again, and I would get with hot honey. So I would give this like a 7 out of 10. I was happy with it.
Yeah, with my burger, I definitely think we had Richter's, like we mentioned a little bit ago. That burger over there was much better than this one.
Okay.
Even though Richter's I didn't think was that great either, it was better than this.
Okay.
So I would say if you want a burger, this would not be your first.
All right.
We're
talking about my chicken now,
I know.
man.
I just wanted to mention that before
chicken.
We moved on really quick. I was just mentioning it, but yes, I did try some of the chicken. The chicken was good.
Okay, thank you. And we also got a dessert. We got the green eggs and ham chocolate cheesecake. This is $6.99. This is pretty good.
This was really good. This was solid. Other than it looks, you like green eggs and ham, but it is very good.
Well, it had like a chocolate egg on the top, basically. Yeah. And I think our daughter ate that, but the actual cheesecake part, no complaints. It was delicious.
No, it was light. It was like very moussey.
Yeah, it was a little moussey.
Moussey, but it was. I thought it was really good. Did they have this at the Grinch breakfast? I'm trying to remember if they did.
No.
Okay.
They didn't. They had other green eggs and ham like themed desserts.
I remember they had green eggs and ham themed stuff. I can remember I had this, but no, this was probably the best thing. That we had here. But.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. You can also get caramel popcorn cupcake as a dessert. Some of the other items on the menu, you can get popcorn shrimp box. You can get the roast beef sandwich. Now, this used to be just a seasonal thing with the Grinch buffet and all that stuff, but it's here like permanently now, which is kind of cool. And that's the one that has it's like a meatloaf sandwich with a little sandwich on the top.
Oh, yeah. I've actually heard good things about it. I may try it next time.
Okay.
But, I mean, it is... Oh, man, it's like first, when do you get like $19 for a sandwich? I'm like, man, we're getting up there.
It's a novelty, man.
I know.
They have a magician meatball cone, which is homemade meatballs and marinara cavatappi, I think is how you say it, in like a little cone thing. But it's like a garlic bread cone. Yes. This is kind of a thing I've seen trending that places, like Italian places do. It's like you put like a pizza in a cone or like spaghetti. Like it's supposed to be kind of good, but I've never had one. Okay. They have redfish, bluefish, pokey. Is it pokey or poke bowl? I think it's pokey. Okay, thank you. And that's blue glass noodles, ai tuna, cucumber, edamame, mango, yuzu honey dressing, and furikake seasoning. No, God! Oh, that's right. That's just actually poke. However you want to say is okay. I saw cucumber and I was just like, oh gosh. They have a tamed dragon salad. That's a bunch of fruit and some nuts in there. They've got pizza pasta, which is baked mac and cheese. And they have at the pickup window only. They have something called a contortion corn dog. And it is Italian sausage, pepperoni, and mozzarella corn dog with marinara and curly fries. I almost got this, but I was like, nah, I'll just get the thing with our daughter. But again, only available at mobile pickup window, which I don't know why, but I think it's like a very on the go type thing. Yeah, you just eat on a stick. Try that. I was gonna say they don't have, if you're wanting to go here, they don't have any beer. Okay, no beer for Jack. Because this was one day. I normally don't. I really every once in a while I enjoy a beer. It was hot. And I was like, I had already eaten anything all day. And for whatever reason, I was just like, I just want a beer. And I couldn't find one. So I finally went kind of toward the front. And they had Yingling, which I really like. They had you get a big can of it. And it was like $10. Mm-hmm. But I brought it into I didn't know if they'd let me.
But I came to the restaurant, ate with there, so you can go get something and bring it in there, I think, unless the lady just didn't care. But they don't serve alcohol in here if you're wanting that. That's something just to keep in mind here.
Well, thank you very much for that. They do have like pink lemonade. They have a Ringleader Rush, like an icy drink. But yeah, everything else is just like Coke and water, coffee, stuff like that. Okay, so since we talked about the menu, we talked about that. Let's talk about the theming. So we talked about it looks like a large circus tent.
Yeah, it's based off, Dr. Seuss books, the one If I Ran the Circus.
Yeah.
So it's got circus stuff everywhere. The train from the, I forget the...
High in the Sky
trolley car ride. It goes through there. So that's kind of cool, especially more cool if you're on the train versus eating.
Yeah.
Because every couple minutes somebody comes through on a train, which is fine. It goes through there.
So that was the good.
What's going to say?
That's
the theming of it.
Yeah, that was the good. Let's talk about the bad.
Well, okay, our experience here. So we talked about the food. The food was not the worst thing I've ever had in a theme park. Not the best thing. It's just very much in the road. Yeah. I will say first impressions at this place was not the best because we walked in and you counted.
I did count.
There were how many dirty tables with dishes were there?
There were 25 tables that had not been cleared of the dishes
that people had eaten on and then they were done. Because here you don't put your own food up. Like they come and take your dirty plates.
You're not supposed to do anything with it. You're supposed to leave it there. Okay, that's fine.
This was not a full restaurant either.
No, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, those tables with that 23 however many tables that were dirty stayed dirty the entire time we were in there eating. No, there was
maybe 5 tables that got cleaned.
Like the people cleaning there was. And I get it. Like, you're probably doing a job that's whatever. But there was no hurry up and hustle to it. So, the whole time, there was just dirty tables everywhere.
It just didn't like the vibe. When you first walk in, that's the vibe you're looking at. It was just like, oh.
Well, it's just not a good look when you see it. Like, our table we got, and there really weren't that many. So, here's the crazy thing. It wasn't that busy in there, but there were so many dirty tables. There was really no place to sit when we came in. Right. So we actually cleaned off a table.
Yep. I got out my baby wipes.
The least dirty table there, and we sat at that table and moved the dishes onto another dirty table.
Guys, I was so annoyed.
But that's the crazy part is there were people in there. It wasn't packed, but literally there was not any place to sit because of all the amount of dirty tables. So that was not a great look, I would say.
No.
So it was just one of those things. We were sitting there, we were halfway through. So that's when I left. I was like, I'm gonna go get a beer. So I came back, and I noticed they were all still. I was gone maybe 10 minutes, maybe. Yeah. I came back in and I was like, oh, they haven't got these yet. And then we're sitting there for a minute. Food comes, eating. I look around. I'm like, at one point I had to get up. I think I went and asked for mayonnaise or something. I can't remember.
Yes.
And I love mayonnaise, guys. I know some people don't. It's great. Not only on a burger. I will dip French fries in that.
You do like that.
And at that point, it is called, what's the fancy thing they call a mayonnaise when it's not mayonnaise?
I don't know.
You want to fancy it up.
I don't know.
It's a, there's a word for it. Anyways.
That's okay. Move on.
Whatever it is. It's great. So I went and got that. And that's when I walked around and I even saw more. And I was like, oh my gosh, there are so many dirty tables. And the waitresses, I came up, I was like, hey, can I get this? She's like, yeah, sure, no problem. They were very attentive. The food came up pretty quick. I think it was I think they had very much assigned people just cleaning tables. They just were not moving quick. So there was way more in the back, and they just stayed dirty the whole time. We were there for
45 minutes.
I'd say 45 minutes. And like you said, maybe 5 tables got cleaned.
I'll just share what I observed since I was there longer than you were.
How dare you?
There were 2 busboys, basically, and they were moving very slowly. They had no hustle to them at all, and everybody else was just runners. They were just running food back and forth to tables.
Yeah, and
that's fine. So there were a lot of people working in the restaurant. It's just they weren't using their time wisely to make sure that the restaurant was in pristine condition or whatever. And you know what? That's just what it was. Definitely a management issue because I don't think a manager would
I think so too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just don't think they had enough.
Yeah.
People doing it.
Again, we're not going to go complain to Universal and be like, oh, there's so many dirty tables. No, we're not going to do that. We'll just be like, you know what? Hey, maybe think about like hustling a little bit more so people don't come in and just leave because they can't find a table that's clean.
Well, and I think that's the thing. You easily could have came in here and the only reason we really, to be quite honest, if it wasn't for the fact that we just were going to review this because it was new, we probably would have gone somewhere else because it doesn't create a good first impression. And I get it. Most of us have done jobs we did not like, and I'm not saying a busboy would be a glamorous job, but what I'm saying is from a perspective of like a restaurant inside of a theme park, you would probably like to make at least the front facing tables be clean. Maybe at least move them to the back where you don't see them. But like the first thing you just see is a bunch of dirty tables. Not a great look. But again, maybe it was just a bad day. Maybe it was an off day. Maybe they had people. Maybe something happened. Who knows? That was just our experience on that day. But it didn't affect food wise, it was okay. But it's just that overall experience was just sort of like, okay.
Yeah, and would you eat there again?
I mean, I might to try that roast beef sandwich. I've heard
roast beast.
Sorry,
roast beast
sandwich. Maybe, but like the stuff I had, I don't think there's anything that was really like I'm dying to come back here sort of thing. But maybe to try another item. But outside of that, probably not. What about you?
I would do the mobile pickup window, and I would do the contortion corn dog because I do want to try that.
Yeah.
Like that. That's something I would try for sure. Going in to sit down, I mean, if there's nowhere else to go to eat, if I'm just starving, maybe. But it doesn't seem like something I want to do. Like I wouldn't get the burger, I would definitely try something that's like, a little bit different. So before this, I should mention, before they revamped this restaurant, it was just burgers and chicken nuggets and fries, and that's basically it. They didn't have any of this pasta stuff.
Yeah.
Corn dogs didn't have any of the cool stuff like that. So it's definitely an improvement. And from based on what I've seen for other people, it's definitely a better quality than it was before the renovation. It's just that our personal experience with the way it was being managed at the time we were there just put a little bit of a just not so great taste in our mouth.
I would like to try the cone thing. I'm curious about those. I've seen them before. And we were talking about this too, because I think and we've mentioned many times, one area when you start talking, let's say Universal versus Disney, because people like to do that. Universal definitely lags behind Disney on the food side. But I think when it comes to quick service, and we were talking about this, I'm like, this is probably like on the same level, or maybe, depending on what you get. We didn't try some of those newer food items. I'd say it's on the same level as like a Cosmic Rays. Something like that. That's like, Disney, quick service food sometimes is you've got your hits and misses, but it's generally just sort of like, the same everywhere. So I feel like this is about that level without trying some of those other things. But I definitely hope going forward, and we've seen this some people said this improved. I can't speak to how it used to be because I don't think I ever ate here before they redid this. But I do hope the new stuff that's open has been pretty good. Minion Cafe is pretty good, like Harry Potter stuff, and like hopefully Epic Universes. So I'm kind of wondering if they go around to all of these like quick service areas and like redo them a little bit, spruce up the menus to make them a little bit better. I hope they do.
Yeah.
Because I think it'd be good for the parks in general.
Here. That's a good way to end it.
Here.
All right. Well, that's.
Here.
Thank you.
You've been watching too much Game of Thrones.
Well, that's going to end a review of Circus McGirkus. So yeah, that's it for the bulk of our show. Just want to mention a couple of things before we go. Don't forget to catch our other shows on the network. We've got the Capture the Magic Disney World Edition show that's on Thursdays with Jared and I. We've got Trip Tales I do once a month on the main feed. And that is I usually try to get a Disney World person and then a Universal. Sometimes I do both. It just depends. But I do try to do a mix of Disney and Universal. And I'll have a new episode coming out next Monday. And then we've got, obviously, Universal show we do like twice a month, right? We do about twice.
It's about twice unless there's a lot of, we've talked about this internally. I think once Epic Universe opens, it may be weekly just because there's going to be so much stuff to go over with it.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it's about twice a month, I'd say.
Yeah. And we're also on social media. So if you aren't a member of our Facebook group, Capture the Magic Community, go ahead and join over there. We're also on TikTok, Cap the Magic, and we're Capture the Magic on Instagram and on Twitter.
Yes, and right now until the 7th, excuse me, we have a giveaway going on Instagram. So if you head on over, it's at Captain Magic. You can see the post there, but if you like that page at Captain Magic and our new apparel one, CTM Apparel Co. is our CTM Apparel Instagram handle. Like both of those, and then that'll enter you to win a couple T-shirts that we have. So we're probably going to we'll probably do more giveaways, but we just separated out the apparel stuff on its own, so that way, the main feed is just mostly. It's not. It seemed weird when we interrupted sometimes with the shirts, which we may still do from time to time, but we kind of separate those out. So yeah, you can win a couple of shirts, and you get $10 in shop credit as well if you win that giveaway. So go check that out.
Very good. And don't forget to check out Club 32, ctmvip.com. We're actually going to be we're actually going to go to Volcano Bay, I think, on Mother's Day, which is next Sunday or this coming Sunday. So that should be fun.
That's your call. It's your Mother's Day. So whatever you want to do.
I think I do. I want to go to Volcano Bay. It's been a while, and I really like that place.
I just will warn you, I think it's going to be busy on Mother's Day. But
it might be. Do mothers like volcanoes?
Well, I just think any holiday typically, maybe not, but
it's either that or the Friday before that, and the Friday before that is supposed to be like 97 degrees that day.
But it is at a water park, so
I don't know. I haven't decided. I can't decide. We'll see.
Well,
sometime in the next couple days, we're going to Volcano Bay. So
we are. We haven't been there yet this year, and Volcano Bay is. I mean, as water parks go, it is a good one.
It is a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening or watching, and thank you, Jared, for being here.
You're very welcome.
And as I always like to say, we will see you in the parks.
Bye.